it's good to hear that music of your life as we get our Wednesday edition of Helping Seniors of Brevard underway. I'm John Harper, and of course our host for the show today, the Executive Director of Helping Seniors of Brevard and the host of the show. Here's Kerry Fink. Hi, Kerry.
Hey, John Harper. Thank you. It's great to be back in the 90.3 FM WEJF radio studios, and welcome all of our lunchtime friends. Every Wednesday we gather around the radio and have a great senior information radio discussion, and also want to welcome those tuning in literally all over the place on WEJF.net, which is for those people who are enjoying the radio broadcast stream. And also a special hello to the literally dozens, if not hundreds, of listeners who then find the broadcast later online. You can always pick up these broadcasts on helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. We put them there. We also put them on the Helping Seniors YouTube page, which is Helping Seniors of Brevard, and also our Facebook page, which is Helping Seniors of Brevard. Why do we do that? Well, we do that so that you can share information that you might be hearing. Maybe it's on a particular topic and it strikes a note with you and suggests maybe a friend of yours could benefit, or an acquaintance could be helped by some of the information we're sharing on the radio. So that's why we do that. And not only the radio shows are available there on demand, but also all the Helping Seniors television broadcasts are there. And so are all the articles. You know, you can't pick up a newspaper without finding one of our president and founder, Joe Steckler's articles in there. He is the tireless senior advocate for seniors throughout Brevard County. It goes way back, John Harper, with to the days of the Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation, when you guys were busy with the work with that and getting those Joe's Clubs established.
That, Kerry, goes back to more than, well, it goes back to, I believe, 1993.
Yeah, and we've joked about this, that Joe himself is the second longest running radio show host in Brevard County, second only to yourself.
Only to me, yeah.
So that's why getting this information is so important. Getting this information into the hands of seniors and their families is so important, because 10 years ago is when Helping Seniors started. So, John Harper, I imagine you were there when Joe came to you and said, I have this idea. We need to create this county senior information helpline. We need to get information in the hands of seniors. And here we are 10 years later.
Here we are 10 years plus. And I remember that very first board meeting that we had. And it was a good vision for the future that was laid out by Joe Steckler and what needed to be done. And I think over the last several years especially, we've been seeing that come about as far as what the organization can do for the community, what it is doing, and what we plan on doing for the future. And that, in many respects, is where the big car raffle this Saturday
right.
comes into play.
That's right. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about your big Saturday night coming up this Saturday. It is, in fact, this Saturday. It's October 9th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the American Muscle Car Museum. And we're going to come back and we're going to actually spend some time talking about that. I actually asked John Harper if he would be my guest on the program today, because he has a very good perspective. Not only is he vice president of Helping Seniors, but he goes all the way back, helping Joe get everything established with Brevard Alzheimer's and helping seniors off the ground. And one thing is for sure, John, if you think about it, 10 years ago there was a need for helping seniors. 10 years from now, there will be a need for helping seniors. And what is clear for right now is that the need for helping seniors is greater than it ever has been. There are more people moving to Florida every single day who need access and information to get connected to senior services and resources that will help them age with dignity. There are more people turning 65 every single day. I remember the statistic is like 1 every 8 seconds nationally. And so more people are getting confronted with the challenges that we have with aging. And so 10 years ago, when Joe said we need to create this senior information helpline, I don't know if he imagined by this point we would have helped more than 4,000 families around the county.
Well, it's a growing need, Kerry, that I think in many respects, unfortunately, will never see a diminishing number necessarily. That number is only going to increase, especially as the baby boomer generation continues to expand into that upper demographic that you were just referring to.
Right, and so if you're a senior today, you're in good company. And I always like to use this this analogy. I said in Brevard County because 1 out of 4. Let me back up, start this over. We'll back the train up and take it out of the station again. Yeah. 1 out of 4 people is over the age of 65 in Brevard County. In fact, I think Joe has often quoted the statistic that we're actually the 24th oldest county in the entire United States of America. And of that, if you just want to stop there, that's serious enough. But in our county, ARP uses the definition of 50 plus as a senior. So in our county, 1 of 2 of us is over the age of 50. So we always say you either are a senior, love and care for a senior, God willing, you're going to live long enough and become a senior. So everything helping seniors is doing is relevant to you in some way, shape, or form. Even if you're just a business in Brevard County, you have to know how to work with seniors.
As executive director of the organization, Kerry Fink, what do you see as some of the major milestones that you're looking at over the next year to 2 years that are necessary for the organization to help lend a hand to with the seniors, and how do you see that playing out?
That's a really excellent question, John, because from the standpoint of what is important for us to accomplish, I always call us the little engine that could. One of the things that we make an assumption is that money solves all of your problems. Like if you just have a big enough checkbook, you can just solve any problem there is. But we also know that's not the case. We have a lot of very financially fine folks who call in to the Senior Information Helpline. I'm going to give that number here. Just if you got a pencil, you may want to jot this down because it is a free call. And that is what we do. We serve folks in Brevard by connecting them to resources that will help them. So that telephone number is 321-473-7770. 321-473-7770. And my point was, people call up. Some people have plenty of resources, but if you don't know where to turn, because the problem for most of us is aging is on-the-job training. You don't understand a situation until you run into it, and no matter how intelligent you are, how much money you have in the bank account, or any of those kind of questions, it may not be enough to confront the crisis in front of you. Now, let's take money out of the equation. If you don't have money, now everything is magnified. And so the ability for helping seniors to connect people to resources is so important. It is like literally having a lifeboat. The ship is going down and you're looking for a life preserver. You're looking for a rope to grab a hold of, anything that will help keep you and your family afloat. And that is what is so important. So to come back and answer your question, John Harper, about what is so important in the future, there are at least 3 different things that are critical to the future for seniors in Brevard County. You've heard Joe talk about this actually longer than since you've known Joe longer than I have. Joe has always talked about a thing called an aging plan, right? He says, we make hurricane plans, we make career plans, we make retirement plans, but even the retirement plans are usually based on, I want to save some money and maybe I want to buy an RV or something like that. They're not actually aging plans. And what Joe means by that is, do you have a plan if you're not able to manage your house or how you get around your house by yourself? Do you have a plan if something happens serious medically of how you're going to work through that? Do you have a plan for getting help in your home as you're aging? Do you have a plan if you actually want to age in home or in an assisted living or some other situation that would be best suited for you as you age? So Joe has always talked about this thing, aging plan. And one of the things, John, you've been around this media longer than I have. And how many times have we heard somebody like Bill Johnson, elder law board certified elder law attorney Bill Johnson, tell us that he wished he had met a family like 30 days before that incident. Somebody had a stroke. Now they're in a hospital. Somebody died and there wasn't the right paperwork in place. All these different things make life complicated. And you think, Well, there are laws that say how this goes, but it may not be the way that you would hope that it would go. And so I've heard Bill plead. He said, spend a few $100s right now and get things going so that you have peace of mind, not only for yourself, but your family and everybody down the line. So the aging plan is the first thing. And one of the things, John, I think we're committing to is to actually quantify that a bit better. A friend of ours that you know as well, Troy Denault with Sotir LLC, he has this line that he says, nobody wakes up on a random Saturday morning and says, hey, let's go check out assisted living facilities. It just doesn't happen. You know, you're reading the paper and you're enjoying your cup of coffee. What do you want to do today? It just doesn't come up in the conversation. And yet most people are having to make these long-term decisions based on an incident that happened overnight. And so Joe's point about the aging plan is if you ever get to a place where you can put this stuff together and have an idea of how you want to tackle these things, it's like a hurricane plan, right? We hope the hurricane never gets here, and maybe we'll be fortunate and it doesn't, but we still need a plan to deal with it. So we're committed to putting together a basically how to get your ducks in a row kind of outline that's going to guide where we go over the next few years to help families answer those questions and to maybe at least get them on a Saturday morning to say, okay, we need to spend 15 minutes and talk about this while there's not a crisis. The second thing, John, that I think is so important, and we've begun work on this, as you know, is the Senior Resource Center. So together with On Beachside, we had a wonderful opportunity to create programs that people could attend. We broadcast them out by Zoom. We're going to be doing more of those. We're going to be doing one on open enrollment season. You know, here we are. We're on the threshold of Medicare open enrollment. It's the time when your mailbox gets stuffed with all this paperwork from all these companies saying, hey, you should set your Medicare plan up with us. And if you're like me or like most people, you don't even know how to begin to sift through all this mail. And so isn't it better that you get expert advice who can look at your prescriptions, your medical situation, and help you craft the best coverage that you can get? So building a senior resource center, a place where seniors can come and get information, both physically and virtually. You know, my dream, John, as you know, is that we will have broadcast studios. We'll be able to do our radio and TV from that facility, in addition to training people hands-on. So that's the second leg of it. The third thing, and this has always been core to helping seniors, is advocating for seniors. Joe is the most tireless advocate ever for seniors, right? Because we live in a county that we already talked about the demographics, and yet we raised a penny sales tax because we want kids in Brevard County to have the best schools ever. Okay, we care enough about our kids in this county. But there are less kids under 18 in this county than there are seniors over 65. So somebody has to advocate for those seniors and remind the government officials, business concerns, individuals that we got to look out for seniors. Somebody has to care for the seniors. And so that's the other very strong mission that we intend to keep pushing along. So how do we stay in business? You know, 'cause some people go, well, it's a nonprofit. Yes, but it's a business because we still have bills that we have to pay, right? The only way we can pay those bills is when people get behind the work of helping seniors. And so Joe, going back all the way to the Alzheimer's days when he was trying to figure out how to build Joe's Clubs, I guess he met up with his friend, now longtime friend, AJ Hires, the car dealer. He's got like one of every great car dealership here in Brevard County. Really philanthropic, really does a lot for this community. He's helped the sheriff with his charity. He's helped helping seniors now. This is our 5th annual car raffle, but they came up with this idea years ago. Let's make it fun to raise money for the organization. And so that brings us to Saturday night, John Harper.
Well, the car raffle, Kerry Fink, coming up, as you just alluded to, on Saturday night. Something highly anticipated. It's become, over the past, I guess, 4 years, this being the 5th now, one of the more popular events that I think people in Brevard County, the state of Florida, look forward to happening every year because it's so unique, it's different. and always nonprofit organizations are looking for ways and means to have fundraisers, have something that's creative, innovative. This one touches all the bases, I think. Only to be outdone by probably next year's event.
It's so funny. I was so happy to wake up this morning and read a very kind email back from Mark Pylock, who is the owner of the American Muscle Car Museum, because Joe had sent him a very kind thank you note, said, we're so appreciative for all you've done for us over the years. This year, Mark is stepping up and helping us make sure that, not only does he open up the museum, but he gets behind the work of helping seniors. He helps us in everything that we supply. It's, when you buy, you're helping seniors. Well, it's not really buy, you're donating for your Helping Seniors car raffle ticket. But when you do that, not only are you getting a great night at the museum because the doors are open 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday evening, but Mark always puts on this amazing spread. And so this year they've got stuff coming from Fresh Market. They've got wine, beer, soda. And once you walk in the museum, you don't have to pull your wallet out again unless you want to maybe perhaps, and I think it's a good idea, buy more raffle tickets. But that's up to you. Everything else in your evening is included. So for basically the price of going to a movie and a dinner, you're going to go to something that is only available a very few times a year, and that's to check out that museum. But here's the point. So Joe sends him this note, and Mark says, I've already got you on the calendar for October 2022. I'm happy to have you guys come back. So there will be the 6th annual Helping Seniors Car Raffle. So that's exciting news.
That's bulletin news.
It is. That's what they call breaking news. Yeah. But we are so appreciative because Andrew and Ed and Mark, they have since the museum opened. And I remember when Joe and Ed Fleece, who's our secretary, or I guess he's our treasurer, they first went and talked to Mark and said, hey, we're trying to get this off the ground. Would you help us? And Mark said, I'll be happy to help you. So every year he's had the museum open. It's been the home for our car raffle grand drawing.
And so then, as you just indicated, we're on the calendar already for next year.
Yeah, we're going to fix the day, but he said you can go ahead and announce that everything is back October 2022. So cool. Now what makes it fun is going to be to see who gets a car, because somebody's getting keys to a car on Saturday night. In addition to all the fun, all the big party, all the enjoyment at the American Muscle Car Museum, somebody is going to take home keys to a brand new 2021 automobile, and it's your choice. You can choose the 2021 Dodge Challenger, the 2021 Chevrolet Camaro, the 2021 Mazda Miata, or the 2021 Kia Sportage. And John, we've had this conversation. You're in the Dodge camp, right?
That's right, yeah. The Dodge is a hot car. The Camaro is as well. You see a lot of those on the road, and that Mazda Miata, beautiful car as well. So those are 3 great ones to choose from. And then on the practical side, I guess, would be the Kia.
Yeah, I was going to say, as much fun as it is when I get to take one of the muscle cars to and from an event, or even the Mazda, I actually have found it's quite enjoyable to tool around that Kia, because when you got to pop the hatchback and throw a bunch of stuff in there, because, we're always taking stuff to these appearances. We got to put the sign in there, the table. We have to, all this stuff that we take with us whenever we go to a car show. And the Kia ends up being probably the easiest car to load up and go to a show for.
I was somewhere, Kerry, over the weekend. I can't think what it was, but having been a boy who spent a good number of years in Detroit, I'm always kind of doing a survey on cars and American cars versus foreign. And this particular survey that I was doing for myself last weekend, I was in a parking lot somewhere, I forget where, but nonetheless, I was noticing that it seemed like 4 out of 5 cars were SUVs.
Yeah, well, that works best for most of us in the real world. You look very cool in a muscle car, and I guess if I won a car, I might be thinking like, oh yeah, that would be pretty nice. And so actually, if you remember, John, we didn't do it this year. We'll bring it back next year. We did a survey the past couple of years where we asked, just for fun, which car do you vote for? Because it has been, for years now, it's been, do you want the Chevrolet Camaro, or do you want the Dodge Challenger, or do you want the Mazda Miata? And so what we've always found is that about 60% of the people vote for the muscle cars, and that's pretty evenly divided, so 30 and 30. And then about 23 to 25% go for the Mazda, and the remainder go for the Kia. So the two top dogs, if you will, are the Dodge and the Chevy. And so that gave us a lot of room for fun, which we're going to talk about in the second half of the show when we talk about the Dodge versus Chevy Challenge. In fact, as I understand it, we're going to have one of the members of Team Chevy join us on the radio. That would be Ashleigh Caswell with Hibiscus Court Assisted Living. She's going to be on the second half of the radio show with us, and we're going to talk a little bit about not only the original 2020 Dodge versus Chevy Challenge, which is fun, but also the 2021 rematch, and everybody's already setting up for 2022. But I guess, John, we should talk about how you get your tickets, because whatever you do, you don't want to miss this. And by the way, you do not have to be present to win. So if for some reason you're hearing the broadcast, you can still win even if you're not able to attend on Saturday night. So you'll want to get your tickets. How do you get your tickets? You can call Kim in the office, area code 321-473-7770, 321-473-7770. You can go to helpingseniors.carraffle.com, helpingseniors.carraffle.com, or all the Boniface Hires dealerships are set up with your tickets. So if you want to go check out their beautiful Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram store on 520 up there in Cocoa, or you want to go by the Chevrolet store right there on US 1 on the river, the Mazda store at the corner of Hibiscus and US 1, or that brand new Kia dealership right there on 192. It's great places to get your tickets. But, John, I think the thing I like to say is you got to be in it to win it.
That's right. That's the way you got to play it, and that will make it happen this Saturday night under the lights, so to speak, at the big Muscle Car Museum. And again, Kerry, we've talked all this year, all last year, about the Muscle Car Museum and what a fabulous place that is. It's so huge, massive, filled with all types of cars, vans, trucks, you name it. It's worth the price of admission itself just to get it in there and to see that.
Oh, there's no question about it. And remember, when you get your ticket, each ticket is one ticket, is an admit one for the museum. So when you get 5 for 100, what you're actually doing is you're getting 5 chances to win the car, but you're also, you and 4 friends can go to the museum. So we're going to talk more as we come back for the second half of Helping Seniors Radio today.
12:32 in the afternoon on this Wednesday. You're listening to Helping Seniors of Brevard here on 90.3 FM. Kerry Fink is our host, and Kerry's also the executive director of Helping Seniors of Brevard. Kerry, that music can't help but put people in a good mood, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, that's Glenn Miller and In the Mood, and I guess we're getting in the mood for the car raffle, right?
That's right. Good segue.
So
good.
it's
You've done this once or twice.
It's exciting ahead. So yes, on Saturday, we're talking about this Saturday. You're going to come out and you're going to join Joe Steckler and our president and founder. His lovely wife Terry will be out there, and our entire Helping Seniors team is going to be on site, and we're all excited to welcome you to the American Muscle Car Museum for the 5th annual Helping Seniors Car Raffle. John, you're going to be there as well, right?
I will be there, and looking forward to the event this Saturday night. It's been a year since I've been in the museum, so I'm anxious to see what new cars, vans, or trucks have been added to the Muscle Car Museum, and that in addition to, of course, finding out who the winner is going to be for this year's big raffle winning event.
That's always the fun part. Is like, because if you remember last year, we weren't able to be in the museum because of COVID, but our winner chose that beautiful Chevrolet Camaro. And then the year before, the lady was there that night, and she took home that beautiful Dodge Challenger that they'd actually brought out to the museum that night. She says, I want that car, and that's the car she still got. So I'm really excited about all that's coming up, and we're so appreciative of all the friends of Helping Seniors, over the years. Bill Johnson with his law office of William A. Johnson and folks like Dr. Lee Sheldon with Solid Bite Dental and Barb McIntyre.
Is Lee going to be there?
I hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. Reverse mortgage. Barb McIntyre with reverse mortgage funding is gonna, I think, is gonna join us, and Jennifer Helen, who's not only is a board member with Helping Seniors, but she has her own company, Seniors Helping Seniors, and we're even going to welcome Ashleigh Caswell with Hibiscus Court, who I think we have here with us on the telephone. Hello, Ashleigh.
Hi, guys.
How are you today?
I'm great. I'm excited about Saturday.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, by way of introduction, Ashleigh has actually quite a bit of experience directly with Hibiscus Court, but she is so skilled and adept at her job that they have put you in charge of like all the marketing for like the entire organization now, right?
Yeah. So we have about 23 senior living communities, but Hibiscus is and always will be my favorite.
Yeah, it's home territory because you're here in home territory, and it is a very special place. I always tell people, if you want to find an assisted living, I love this talk that you guys give where you say, well, if you hit the lottery, what are you going to do? You're going to hire a chauffeur, or a gardener, a cook, and all these things, and that's everything you get at Hibiscus Court.
Yeah, it really is like, living in a cruise ship. So.
It's good. It's good. And Ashleigh, we're so appreciative of everything you and everybody connected, Sharice Durham and everybody that you work with there at Hibiscus Court, Senior Living Management, that you've helped us over these years to get this thing going. And it's really starting to take on a life of its own. We were laughing because last year in the middle of COVID, we were trying to, we couldn't go to car shows like we normally could. So everything was like, well, what could we do that's fun and different and draws a lot of attention and honestly gets people to wind up saying, okay, I'll buy the raffle ticket. How do I do that? And the thing that we came up with was the fact that the two top cars, every time we ask a survey about them, the two top cars are always the muscle cars, the Dodge Challenger and it's the Chevrolet Camaro. And just like we open up the segment, what happened last year? The guy who won wanted a Camaro. What happened the year before? The lady who won, she wanted a Challenger. So it's a perfect setup. And so last year, in kind of a desperate moment of like, well, what do we do here? We can't be out at car shows. We said, well, if we can't have people come out to the car shows, let's take the car show to them. So the Dodge versus Chevy Challenge was born. And now that you've participated in this for a couple of years, what's your viewpoint on that whole thing, Ashleigh?
I think it might be the most fun that we could have. I mean, going to the museum is amazing, and you get to see all these awesome cars, but being able to actually sit behind the wheel of one that could be sitting in that showroom and just pedal to the metal, it's certainly a perk for helping with the event.
I remember, I think Sharice Durham, who works with you in the whole senior living Hibiscus group, said this was like my best day at work ever. And I would think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every day you get to, drive a top-of-the-line car as fast as you can.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And so, folks, if you're not familiar with this is really taking on a life of its own. But last year, when we were challenged to figure out what we would do, we invited a couple of friends from Hibiscus Court, Ashleigh Caswell and Sharice Durham, and a couple of friends from Seniors Helping Seniors, Jennifer Helen and Ricky Montgomery. But then to keep it interesting, we made them split up. So it wasn't going to be like one company against the other. So you guys each chose up sides, and Jennifer and Sharice chose to be Team Dodge, and you and Ricky chose to be Team Chevy. But I think that was an easy choice for you.
Yeah. And this year, since there's not a whole lot of inventory of cars just sitting around, our crew chief actually brought out his own Camaro, which is certainly an upgraded version. And it was really fun to drive.
There are some videos out because there is film of this, and we call it the Helping Seniors. We actually created a website, DodgeVChevyChallenge.com, DodgeVChevyChallenge.com, which, by the way, you can get your tickets on that site as well as HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com. But the fun thing is we cataloged last year's race that you guys did and had so much fun with. And then now we've posted the 2021 Dodge versus Chevy Challenge and watching you guys run down that 1/8 mile track and just hearing, because Hal, our camera guy, he sticks GoPros in the car. So not only are you seeing these cars racing down racing around Mark's got this great course right around his building. I was loving what Darren Davis with Boniface Hires Dodge said. He goes, I was just at the Walmart. This place has a bigger parking lot than the Walmart does. And you guys were just running through the whole thing and having so much fun with those cars. But then Hal puts GoPros inside the car. So not only do we get the fun that's going on outside, but you guys are just having a ball inside the cars.
Yeah, I mean, it at first it really like literally takes your breath away, but then it's just like straight giggles.
Yeah, it is. So you have to go check this out. Like, you can go to DodgeVChevyChallenge.com. You can also get them from the Helping Seniors Car Raffle.com page. But the important thing is, why are we doing this? We're just trying to get attention for the cars and for the car raffle, because that is how we pay for the work of the Helping Seniors organization. So when you buy your ticket for the Helping Seniors Car Raffle, you actually get three things. First of all, the most important thing, at least from my perspective, is you help keep the work of helping seniors going. Because for 10 years, we've operated the County Senior Information Helpline, and we have helped more than 4,000 families to date, and expect that number to grow actually exponentially over the next few years, because as many seniors as we have moving in from out of state and out of the area, to as many seniors are turning 65 every day and getting to start to really need to confront some of the thought processes about aging. These are all things that are so important and make what we do with Helping Seniors worthwhile. But secondly, you could take home keys to a brand new car. And then third, you're going to have a great time enjoying the Muscle Car Museum. And Ashleigh, just before we went back on the air with you, John Harper, who's our vice president and has been with Joe Steckler going back to the Alzheimer's days, he was saying, I haven't been in there since last year. Well, we've been in there actually collectively a couple of times filming things and things like that. And talk a little bit about how you see Mark's collection growing.
Well, it's getting taller. Every time I'm there, I swear there's a new lift. So, it's everywhere you look, there's a new car to look at. Sometimes it's because they're new to the collection, and sometimes it's because they were moved, and now they have new neighbors, and you see them in a different light. Jennifer and I were in a VW van the other day, and I'm pretty sure it's been there for a couple years, but some people on our team thought it was brand new to the museum, but I remember it being there for quite a while. So, every time you go, you see something new. I think even if we got to go, every week, we would see something new, and they're all just so pristine. You really get to see, that they're like works of art, and they're so cool.
A VW micro minibus certainly is something very desirable these days. I've seen some of those VW buses kind of uncovered on American Pickers on television, and they really go for quite a value. Even in raw, bad condition, they can be refurbished, and as Mark has obviously done at the Muscle Car Museum with that VW micro minibus, but they used to be worth, I guess when they were new, Kerry, about $2,500?
Yeah, something like that, and now you're add zeros.
Well over 25,000, and that's probably not even high enough. So they're amazing cars. Something else that's kind of amazing, guys, at the museum is all of the artwork, the display signs, the neon that exist promoting the various cars and the car companies. That's kind of interesting to look at as well.
Yeah, I think so. In fact, as you were saying that, I was thinking about they were filming when we were out there last. Ed Diedick, who is the operations manager, he's always been so kind. He lets every once in a while he'll let us go like behind the ropes and things like that. And that was how I think Ashleigh, you and Jennifer were filming in that VW microbus. But I also remember he's got like all this memorabilia. You were playing around with like a hot dog stand and some other things in there as well.
Mm-hmm. There was a antique hot dog cart, so it's attached to a bicycle. So you could, take your hot dog cart wherever you needed to go. Last time we were there, he materialized an old ice cream cart.
That's
too.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
No, they have all sorts of cool memorabilia. It's just, and it's stacked in between the cars, and the front showroom is, filled with, bikes and motorcycles, and boat engines.
The memorabilia,
really
in fact, you mentioned boat engines. That's kind of interesting as well, above and beyond the cars and vans and trucks that are there. But if somebody's interested in antique engines for a power boat, the Muscle Car Museum has a couple of interesting ones on display as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is impressive because I was thinking about this the first time that I went in there, which is now, I guess, the first time, when we were first setting up the first visit there that we were going to be able to do the grand drawing there. I remember thinking, well, I'm not the world's biggest car fan. I mean, some people can tell you every nut and bolt on every car.
Yeah.
And so I don't put myself in that category. I appreciate these cars. But when I walked in there, it was like all of a sudden you get a whole level of appreciation. And the fantastic thing, I thought, Ashleigh, and tell me if you agree on this, was when you walk around, you see all these cars. And like you said, you could go in there dozens of times, and you can only really kind of appropriate a portion of the museum each time because there's just so much to see. But first you just think there's a lot of cars here. But when you sit down and you start talking with Ed, there's like there's a reason each car is there. It's not just, oh, here's a nice car, let me throw it in the museum.
Yeah, they were nice enough to let me come in with 20 or 30 of my residents one year, and Ed took us on a private tour of the museum, and he knew every single question that the residents asked, and he gave us a backstory about all the cars. And my residents, these are cars that they remember. Some of them own cars like this,
sure.
Or because some of them are in their 80s, 90s. So they had real connection to seeing the cars, and Ed knew the background of all of them. It's really amazing.
Yeah, and one of the highlights I thought last year was when we were in there filming. Ed goes, would you guys like to see the shop? So we're, of course, like, yeah. So he takes us backstage to, I guess, where you'd say all the magic happens. And what I don't know what stood out for you, because we were all in there, and Hal had the cameras, and so we were getting a lot of shots. In fact, you can view that, by the way, if you go to the Helping Seniors Car Raffle page, that's out there too, or our YouTube page, you can check it out. But what I remember seeing was a Porsche limousine, and that they were busy, like, renovating or whatever you call it when you make the car like look brand new again. And then I remember when we were back there early this year filming some segments as we're getting ready for the car raffle, that car was already out on the line, had already won awards, and there was, I think Jennifer was telling us there was a great story behind some big dude at Porsche, maybe it was the president, had him build that car for his daughter's wedding or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have, that was really impressive to see it, kind of when they got it and untouched to seeing it finished on the showroom floor. It's really, and it is a cool car. Like, it's one of a kind, the Porsche limo.
Yeah, and then on top of it, he's got Porsche tractors, which I never got before, that was how they got into the car business. I guess they were making farm implements, and someplace said, if we rev this engine up, might give us a whole new world. And I guess it did. So there's so much fun to see and do at the museum. Ashleigh, I wanted to remind everybody, you got to get your tickets, because all this wraps up on Saturday, October 9th. So it's this Saturday. You don't have another Saturday to wait. It's like, what is it they say? One more sleep till Christmas or something? It's like we just have a very short time until this car raffle. So it happens Saturday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. You have to get your tickets to be in it to win it. Actually, you guys have tickets. You have tickets there at Hibiscus Court. You can also get them at the Boniface Hires car dealerships. You can also call us at 321-473-7770, and we will get you your tickets that way, or you can just get them online at helpingseniors.carraffle.com. But Ashleigh, you've been a friend of Helping Seniors for quite a while now, and I wanted to give you a moment to kind of explain a little bit about Hibiscus Court. There's so many people moving into the area, and there's so many misconceptions, I think, that most of us have if we're not in the business, or we don't know somebody's in the business, or we don't have personal experience. We misread what a great thing an assisted living community, and particularly a memory care community, can offer us as we get older. What I want to tell you is that Heidi Kuchenbacker and Ashleigh Caswell have been with that organization. I think she was executive director for something like 19 years, and it is a premier location for seniors, and it's very convenient. It's right there just off of US 1 on Hibiscus. It's right literally almost across the street from the hospital, so getting medical help and to doctor's appointments and things are great. And I've heard them talk a lot about the ability to have like I said, all the things that you would probably choose if you won the lottery. You'd hire the chauffeur, the gardener, the all the help that you need around the home. You'd have somebody cook for you. And as you heard Ashleigh say, it's like literally life on a cruise ship. And we're going to continue the conversation about the car raffle as we go along. But do take a look at Hibiscus Court. It is really an outstanding community. And the thing that stands out for me, kind of the outside looking in, is if you go to their Facebook page, you will see so many pictures of how they love on and care for and make fun happen for their residents. In fact, some years back, we were doing a thing, John Harper, with a friend of ours, Narda Michael Walden. He's kind of a famous producer. He's known for getting Whitney Houston's career off the ground, Mariah Carey. He produced Aretha Franklin, Who's Zoomin' Who, all these big hits. And he was doing a gospel show project that he asked us to help with, and he re-recorded that song, if you remember it, from the 70s, Come On People Now, Let's Get Together, Smile on Your Brother. And so Ashleigh and her team over at Hibiscus Court, they got some of the senior residents together, and they actually did like a lip sync to the song. So it's this great music video that's out and about with it. But it's all happening at Hibiscus Court. Those people know how to have a lot of fun. It's all fun, but it's all good as we get down to Saturday and the Helping Seniors Car Raffle Grand Drawing. Actually, I was talking a little bit about what a great place I personally think Hibiscus Court is, but I was going to ask you maybe to take it just a step farther and talk a little bit about, the general public, we don't understand enough about the benefits of assisted living. And you always do a good job of kind of breaking that down and getting people to think about that, maybe get them to come out and take a tour and understand the options ahead of time so that they know how to plan and how to build their aging plan. Yeah,
well, I think the biggest misconception is that you have to really be in bad shape to need assisted living. You have to need help, or you have to, you have to really be in need. But really, the only thing that you need to move into senior living, to move into Hibiscus Court, is to be tired of cooking and cleaning.
That'll work.
Yeah. So, our residents live as independently as they wish, as independently as they're able. We have some that come and go as they wish. We have some that, go and volunteer and, are gone for the day. We have lots of residents who leave for weeks at a time to go spend time with their families. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not, a place that you come to only when you need physical help throughout the day. It's not having to worry about what you're going to make for dinner, who's going to mow the lawn, if you need maintenance, like, you don't have to worry about all that because we have a chef that cooks 3 hot meals for us. We have a big dining room, restaurant-style dining room, if you want to have your meals in there, or we can bring them up to your apartment. We have a concierge who will handle whatever little thing you need handled. We have a resident programming department, so whatever fun you want to have. I just watched all the residents get loaded up to go to the pumpkin patch. And today is Crazy Hat Day, so they're all wearing variations of cowboy hats that they have decorated.
Wow.
Going to a pumpkin patch. We have nurses here 24/7 in case you need it. Nurses 24/7 is not a normal thing at assisted living.
Yeah.
In assisted living, you don't have to have any nurses. So some assisted living, it's just home health aides. It's just, caregivers. But in our community, we personally require LPNs in the building 24/7 to lead the care team.
Wow.
And our care team is almost exclusively CNAs, which are certified nursing assistants, and they've gone through a course to have that title, and LPNs. So we have nurses and CNAs that help our residents with whatever they need.
So, Ashleigh, if people are interested, they want to catch up with you guys, what's the best way to, who do they contact? How do they contact?
You can call the community directly. You can find us on all of the social media. You can Google us. It's Hibiscus Court Senior Living in Melbourne. We're right on the campus of Holmes Regional. The building is actually owned by Health First, so we are affiliated with Health First. And our phone number is 321-951-1050. But you can always Google it. And if you want to have a laugh, our Facebook page, where we keep it pretty up to date with what's going on in the community. So we have lots of fun pictures of our residents, and a great way to try out assisted living is to come for the day or come to an event. So we have all of those sorts of events posted ahead of time on Facebook, and you can call the community, and we'll be glad to arrange for you to join us.
All right. Thank you, Ashleigh Caswell with Hibiscus Court. And I'm definitely going to tune into the Facebook page and see the Hat Day photos. That's going to be fun to see later on as that happens. And Saturday is going to be a lot of fun. So one last appeal before we close out the show. You got to be in it to win it. This is your last call for tickets. Well, almost your last call for tickets. I assume we'll be trying to sell tickets up to the moment they start pulling the winner out of the barrel. But HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com is the best place to go. HelpingSeniorsCarRaffle.com, or give Kim a call in the office, 321-473-7770.
Now, Kerry, the doors open Saturday night at 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. And people do say, can I buy tickets on site? Yes, because your ticket is admit one. And so oftentimes people will show up and say, I didn't get to get them early, so can I get tickets? Yes, you can. Or they'll say, well, I got a ticket for me, but I wanted to bring, Fred and Bob. And Fred, they need tickets. So, yes, you can get tickets on site. We advocate strongly, get them now, because you don't have to wait in that kind of a line, because there's usually a couple thousand people who show up, and so hopefully that'll be the case on Saturday night.
It's a huge event, one of the most anticipated events of the season. The big car raffle taking place at the Muscle Car Museum in Melbourne, which, by the way, is located, Kerry, right there behind, or depending on your perspective, at the Melbourne Greyhound Park.
That's right. It's very easy to get to. It's right there off of Sarno Road. So I'm looking forward to Ashleigh. I guess we're all gonna have a big day out there on Saturday, right?
Yeah, and I have lots of my associates who are coming, and just about everyone I've talked to is excited to come on Saturday.
Yeah, big night at the museum. Well, thank you, Ashleigh Caswell with Hibiscus Court. Thank you, John Harper with Talk to Me Radio, and thank you on behalf of Joe Steckler, Kim Bernard, our whole Helping Seniors team. We'll see you Saturday for a night at the museum.
Looking forward to it.